Hello everyone and welcome back to Paper Peony. This is my second sample to show you using the Ocean Friends. And again, we're only going to be using the die on this particular card that goes with this bundle. This bundle is on the discontinued list or the last chance list, so you're able to only get it until supplies last. So grab it while you can if you love the samples that I'm showing you. You can go on my website below. It's the Stampin' Up website, and then shop and order, and it will be directly delivered to you. So here is the Ocean Friends dies, and you get the lobster and you get the crab. You get some extras, the coral, the wave edge, and then the seaweed. And I'm going to show you a card in the upcoming videos that how you can use this as a border on a card, which is really cool. So we are going to be using that lobster die on this one as the same as we did on the first card that I did. Now this is a little bit more of a detailed card, a little bit more time put into it, but I think it's very effective. This is just basic netting that I bought at like the Hobby Lobby store, like in their Nautica section or in the netting. And all you will do is just cut your piece and then use mini glue dots to glue down those dots or those knots. And then it is adhered to your card. Now, for the sake of showing you a variety of what you can do, I'm doing something different on the tutorial. I'm using actual cheesecloth that I actually stained in tea. So what you would do is just brew a cup of tea and put some cheesecloth down in there, and the longer it seeps, the darker it's going to get. But then you would take it out, you would wring it, and then flatten it out to dry, and then you get a discolored cheesecloth. So that's how I did that, and we're going to be using that on this card today. Okay, so let's get started. This is using Pool Party, and it's the same dimensions as the card before. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, so it folds like a book. Okay. And then we're using that Country Woods paper, designer series paper that is found in the annual catalog, which I love. It is also making it into the new annual that's coming out in May. So you have another year of getting this paper, which I love. So we're going to glue this down as our background. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and glue down this beige on the inside to kind of match the front. And you can also, it's light enough that you can write your message on the inside of this. So you're just going to glue this down like so. This is a 4 by 5 1/4, just 1/4 of an inch shy of your card size. Same as the blue, okay? Then on this one here, now I went ahead and did this, but I'm going to show you how I did it. This happens to be I was going to write down the measurements before I did this video, but you know how that works. It's 3 1/4 by 4.5. And this is basic beige, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to ink this birchwood embossing folder. And you're going to ink the side that has the Stampin' Up logo on it, because that's the top. So you're going to come in and you're going to use your basic beige ink. I did tone on tone. Okay, you're going to ink this side here. Okay, then you're going to put in your cardstock on the opposite side, and then you're going to clamp it shut and then run it through your embossing folder. And then when it comes out, it's going to look like that, okay? And people ask, how am I going to get this clean? Well, all you have to do is run it through running water, and the ink will come right off of your embossing folder, okay? So it's pretty easy to clean, and it gives you a really nice effect. Instead of just an embossed look, it also goes into the deep crevices of your embossing folder and stains it, which I love. Okay, so that's how I got this, okay? So we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. Give it some extra dimension. And I'm just going to bring this up here so you can see what I'm doing. Making sure that you cover all the way around your piece because it is embossed. So it's going to be heavier than just regular cardstock, really. So you need to kind of make sure that there's dimensions everywhere. Okay, and you're just going to come through here and take the backs off of your dimensionals. I have an upcoming card using the crab using this cheesecloth, and it's super cute as well. So you'll want to stay around and see that as well. Okay, so then we're just going to put this in the center like so. Okay. Now I did, on this one, I did 2 different lobsters, and I wanted to make sure they were almost identical. And here's why. Because on this one, I don't know if you can see it up close, and you may not even want to do this just because it's not that much visible, or it's not that noticeable. But I did cut sections of my lobster and pop dotted some of the pieces to make it look more dimensional. You can or cannot do that. I mean, you don't have to do that. I'm going to do that just because I kind of told you that's what I did. I'm just going to pop dot or raise this pink side. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my hello with Misty Moonlight like I did in the previous video. Hello. Okay, and then you're just going to use dimensionals and pop dot that little section up. And I did this on the actual one that's laying down flat because it's easier, I think. Because then when you come in and you try to maneuver this onto the top, it's easier to be able to see where you're going to place it. And see, it just adds that kind of dimension a little bit to kind of give it a little bit more eye appeal. Okay, so there's that. And then this cheesecloth, we're going to just run it along like that, okay? And it depends on just how you want it. I mean, you can just, you know, ball it up, knot it up, whatever you want to do to make it a little bit more fun. I think that's really fun right there. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to tie this in a little fun knot. Okay, like so. And then it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to play with this. I'm just going to sit this out and just kind of fan that out like that. And you can put it up this way or put it on the downside. It's just up to you as to how you want to place this. Okay, and I kind of like it like that. So what you're going to do is after you do this, then you're going to take some glue dots, and preferably bigger ones, because they're going to help hold better. And I just did this with the knot. I just put the knot right there on that glue dot and glue that down right there. And then come in and just do a glue dot in various places. Now, if this was a real see-through, I would make a point to put the glue dots where you're not gonna be able to see them. But on the sake of this, I mean, it's pretty clear as to, and this lobster's gonna help hold it down once I put dimensionals on it. Okay, so now we're ready to put dimensionals on the lobster. And same as before, you wanna make sure that you're putting dimensionals everywhere on this lobster. Okay, and then we'll cut one in half. Always use every piece on these sheets because to get your money's worth on them. They don't have to be perfect little hexagons. They work the same, okay? So just come through here and take all the backings off. Like so. And then just kind of visualize where you want your lobster to be. And I kind of want him to be right there in the center. Okay. Really like this. This is more of a tone-on-tone kind of feel. Here's the net. And then here is the cheesecloth. Okay, and then we're ready to put our bling on here. Now, because I used on the originals, I use these metallic dots that are no longer available. I'm going to kind of improvise and use something that is current. Let me see where I put them. They were right here. Oh, here they are. Okay, so here are the dimension or the embellishments that were in the Storybook Friends suite. And I think the gold is going to look really good with this. I did the petal pink ones on the previous one or previous video, so I'm going to do something a little different and do the gold on this one. Okay, so let me see if I can even pull these up. There we go. There's one. Two. And this is just going to add a little bit of bling to your card. Now, if you don't want it and you want it to be more natural looking, then you can leave this off. But I tend to love bling, and I use bling on almost all my projects. And there you have this card. What do you think? I hope that you like this and give it a try. Let me get these out in here so you can see them better. And so there is your two samples, one with net and one with cheesecloth. So I hope you give this a try. Don't be afraid to put dimension on your cards. You know, and especially with things that you can go and buy. I mean, putting little seashells on here would be adorable as well. So, and you can get those pretty relatively flat if you go with the little ones. So, but there is my sample, my second sample. I hope you give it a try, and I hope to see you in the upcoming videos. Thank you guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.